This is the first video of the new year, 2026. Here we are. And what are we going to do about it? Let's talk about it. Hey there, my name is Jeff Perry. I'm a leadership and career development expert, author of The Intentional Engineer and The Intentional Career Guide to Professional Networking. And you've probably already heard or seen social media posts or heard people talking about this whole idea of new year, new you, and all that stuff. And that's kind of fun. And hey, when this comes out, we're already about a week into the new year. For most people, a good chunk of people who make New Year's resolutions, most of their resolutions already died. Maybe they started off at the gym for a few days and then stopped. I know I've done that a number of times too, right? And so I actually want to shift this. Instead of thinking, what are those resolutions? What are the systems and the habits that we want to build? In fact, the author James Clear wrote in his book Atomic Habits that we actually rise to the level of our systems, which is why he used that concept of atomic habits, like being 1% better every single day, to build systems in that actually then change our behavior in a meaningful, sustainable way. And he also says it needs to be rooted in identity. So the basic concept is when we can root the change we want to make in an identity that we want to embrace at a higher level, and identify the systems and the habits that we want to help to cultivate that, then the results are just likely byproducts of those identities and systems that we put in place. So let me tell you a story. This last year, I had a client, and he had some things he wanted to change about his career. There were some things he wanted to do. He wanted a new job and some other things. But instead of just identifying, hey, what's the thing he wants to get and the change he wants to make, we talked about, and he identified 3 particular values and correlating systems that he wanted to build to help him live in those values. Let me tell you what they are. So number 1 is that he really wanted to be a great dad. He and his wife welcomed their first child into the world, and it was important to him to build systems into being a great dad and creating that deep bond with his child in that first year of life. Number 2 is he really wanted to make sure that he invested in and grew his professional network and built some meaningful relationships. He recognized that he'd let some of that pass by, and he wanted to invest in some meaningful relationships. And so he set up systems to stay connected with important people in his life and find ways to continually meet and grow new relationships. And number 3, the other value that he wanted to do is he wanted to continue to uncover the unique value that he could bring in his work. And so he set up some reflection systems and habits into his life that would help him continue to notice where he was in his genius zones and doing some of his best work, so he could notice those things and grow into operating in those ways more and more often. So with these 3 things in mind, we set up these habits and systems in a meaningful way, and he made huge progress, and he actually fairly recently landed into a new role that is his most exciting role that he's ever been in. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. So the principle here is, how can you identify the values and the systems and the habits that are actually going to support the shifts that you want to make in a meaningful way? So I want to give you 3 things to do. Number 1 is lock in your identity. So what is that identity for you? Who do you want to become this year? What do you want others to be able to say about you? What do you want to be able to say about yourself and who you are, how you've shown up, and how you operate on a consistent basis? Number 2 is align the actions with that identity and those values that are correlated with that identity. So what habits will reflect that identity if you do them on a consistent basis? Another great question that I love is, what would someone with this identity do on a regular and consistent basis? How would someone like this operate if they have that sort of identity? And it helps you catch a vision of who you want to become and how you can be operating in alignment with that action. The number 3 is to build systems around that. Don't just identify the actions and the behavior changes, but how can you set up systems to do them more consistently? And This might be accountability, ways that you can track for yourself and also bring others into that accountability practice. Have coaches or mentors or others who are involved that hold you accountable, and then you hold yourself accountable to them for those changes. And when you can do that, you're going to build systems that build habits that build the real identity shifts and the results that you're looking for in your life. And if you want to do this in a more meaningful and intentional way, this is some of the stuff that I coach people on all the time. I would love to help you or your team or organization build systems and habits to become who you want to become. If you want to do that, please reach out and let's connect. Thanks so much for being here. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.